Hey guys! Since the last video was for the chihuahua, I thought we should make some dog accessories, so I really hope you'll enjoy. Let's get started! Starting with the doghouse, I made a template for the front and back and then one for the sides. I then transferred that to a sheet of wood from Miniature Shop and cut that out. Next you want to mark off some lines and then either use an electric file or your craft knife to carve it. And if you don't have the sheet of wood, you can also make this from popsicle sticks or cardboard. Glue those 4 pieces together, and then you also want to cut and glue on a piece for the bottom. Before adding the roof, you want to paint it using acrylic paint, just to be able to paint the inside. Add 2 pieces of wood for the roof, and then paint that as well. For the trim, I used the same sheet of wood as well as some skinny sticks and then glued these in place. Once painted, I used sandpaper to make it look a bit worn, and then I also added a tiny bit of brown acrylic paint. To make the bowl, roll out some clay and cut out a strip. Wrap that around a cookie cutter and press in one side all the way around. After pre-baking, I used a file to make it look a bit more neat. I then added clay to the bottom, pre-baked, added clay to the inside rim, and baked again. Lastly, you can add a design using acrylic paint and seal with glaze. To make the food, I cut small squares of brown clay, added texture using a toothbrush, and baked. After baking, I added shading using acrylic paint and put it into the bowl. Next, I made the back for the food using watercolors on printer paper. And if you don't want to paint this, you can find an image online and print that. Glue that together, and then to make it look like it's full, I just added some baked pieces of clay. To make the bed, I made a template, transferred that onto a piece of fabric and cut that out. Glue that onto a fluffy piece of fabric and trim off any excess. You can then glue the 2 end pieces together, glue that onto another piece of fabric, add a piece of fluffy fabric on the bottom, and cut off any excess. To make the collar, you can cut a strip from any piece of fabric you want. take a piece of wire, make kind of like an oval shape and glue that to one end, then trim off any excess length. Then cut and fold a small strip of metal and glue this in place to be able to close and open the collar. For some extra detail, I just used polymer clay, and then after baking I painted that using alcohol ink and black acrylic paint. And finally, for the last piece of toy, I just tied together some embroidery floss. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.